Okay, so have you ever, been looking for a real way to make some extra cash? Like, especially from home?
Yeah, I think that's pretty common desire these days, isn't it?
Totally. But it can be so overwhelming, right? Like, sifting through all the so-called side hustles and all that. It's like, what actually works?
Well, we all want that clear path, don't we, to, actually building a solid income, but with flexibility too.
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today, this whole idea of creating a real business on Amazon.
Yeah.
And we're talking potentially like serious income, maybe even $10,000 a month.
Wow, that's a pretty eye-catching figure.
Right. But here's the thing. It's all about books, but without actually writing them yourself.
Oh, now that's intriguing. I'm sure a lot of people listening would love to know how that's even possible.
Well, that's where this seven-figure Amazon KDP playbook comes in. It lays out this whole system, and it's particularly interesting for anyone who's, dreaming of ditching the 9 to 5 and working from home,
Yeah, the whole work from home thing has exploded, hasn't it? People are really looking for viable ways to make that happen.
for sure. And I'll admit, I was a total skeptic at first. I mean, I've tried tons of online side hustles, and most of them, let's just say they didn't exactly pan out.
Oh, yeah, I've been there. It's hard to separate the real opportunities from the, let's say, less than legitimate ones.
Totally. But the idea of using Amazon, like leveraging that platform and not having to be a writer, it kind of sparked my curiosity.
I could see why. It's a pretty massive marketplace with a huge built-in audience.
Right. So I actually took the plunge and tried the KDP playbook myself.
Mm.
And honestly,
Yeah.
the results have been pretty amazing. I mean, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but it's been a real game changer in terms of building a consistent income stream and, having control over my time, being able to work from home. It's been life-changing.
Well, that's a pretty powerful testimonial right there. I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to wanting that kind of freedom and flexibility.
Absolutely. And speaking of resources, if this is sounding interesting, I do want to mention something right off the bat. If you're even a little bit curious about this, go check out kindleriches.com or just click the link in the description. They've got a special discount going on for the playbook we're talking about today. It's seriously worth checking out.
Sounds like a good deal. So let's get into the nitty-gritty here. What's the core idea behind this no-writing Amazon KDP system? Is it actually legit?
Yeah. So the playbook kicks off by, really acknowledging the struggles people face when they're trying to build passive income, like the time commitment, the financial stress, that feeling of being stuck.
Uh-huh.
They get it.
Makes sense. It's important to address those pain points, right? People need to know that you understand where they're coming from.
Exactly. And that's where the whole KDP no writing method comes in. It's presented as a totally different approach, like a better way compared to other stuff out there, like, drop shipping or affiliate marketing, which can be really complicated and expensive to get started with.
Yeah, those models can be pretty daunting, especially for beginners. So, what's the main appeal of this KDP approach?
It's about those sweet, sweet monthly royalties, coming in from Amazon consistently. And the idea is that it's much faster and easier to implement than other methods.
Faster and easier. Now, that's something people can get behind, but does it actually work?
Well, that's the big claim, right? And it's what really hooked me initially. Like, they present it as a system that's been proven, a real deal thing that gets results. And based on my own experience, I'd say it definitely lives up to that promise.
Well, let's break it down then. How does this proven three-step system actually work? What's the first step?
Okay, so step one is all about finding those golden nuggets,
Mm.
profitable niches. It's all about identifying the right categories on Amazon where there's already a hungry audience, people actively searching for specific types of books.
So it's not about, coming up with some brilliant idea and hoping people will buy it.
Nope. It's about working smarter, not harder, using data to your advantage. And the key tool here is something called the bestseller rank, or BSR for short. Basically, it's a metric that shows you how well a book is selling on Amazon.
Okay, so how do you use that BSR to find a good niche?
They recommend focusing on books with a BSR between 20,000 and 100,000. And they call this the sweet spot, which I think is a pretty good way to put it.
I see. So not too competitive, but still with enough demand to make it worthwhile.
Exactly. It's like finding the perfect balance, right? They even have this whole 3-2-1 method to help you really validate a niche and make sure it's got solid potential.
Interesting. Sounds like a pretty systematic approach.
It is. And the best part,
Yeah.
it's all based on Amazon's own data. You're not guessing or relying on some guru's opinion.
Mm.
It's all about looking at what's already working and tapping into that.
Makes sense. So once you found a promising niche, what's the next step? This is where the no writing part comes in, right?
You got it. Step 2 is all about content creation, but without the whole, agonizing over words and writer's block thing.
So I'm really curious about this. How do you create a book without writing it?
All right, so they break it down into three main types of books that fit this model. First up, we've got what they call low-content books.
Low content. What does that even mean?
Think journals, planners, notebooks, even like activity books like coloring books or puzzle books. Stuff that's pretty straightforward to put together.
Ah, I see. So not novels or anything with, tons of text, more like templates and layouts.
Exactly. And the beauty of these low-content books is that they're super easy to create.
Hmm.
You don't need any fancy writing skills or anything. In fact, they even say you can create your first book in like under 2 hours.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Right. Then you've got option number 2, AI-enhanced books. And this is where it gets really interesting.
AI, like artificial intelligence.
Yep. We're talking about using tools like ChatGPT to help generate content. It's crazy how much AI can do these days.
That's incredible. So you can essentially have AI write the book for you.
Well, it's more like AI assisting you, really. But yeah, it can drastically speed up the process and help you create some pretty amazing content. And then last but not least, we have public domain publishing.
Public domain. Remind me what that is again.
So these are books or other written works where the copyright has expired. They're basically free for anyone to use.
Ah, right, like classic literature and stuff. So you can just republish those on Amazon.
Pretty much. Of course, you'll want to format them nicely, create an attractive cover, all that. But the main content is already done for you. No writing required.
I love it. Talk about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And they recommend some really user-friendly tools for all this, like Canva, which is great for designing interiors and stuff. And for covers, they suggest checking out Fiverr, where you can find affordable designers who can whip up something professional looking.
Smart. Makes it accessible even for those of us who aren't design wizards. So you've got your book ready to go. What's the final step?
All right, step 3 is all about making those sales, baby. It's called optimizing for maximum sales. Because, you can have the greatest book in the world, but if nobody can find it, or if your listing doesn't grab their attention, well, you're not going to sell much.
True that. It's got to be visible and appealing, right?
You nailed it. And they emphasize the importance of nailing your title and description. They even have a specific formula they claim can increase click-through rates by like a whopping 38%.
Wow, 38%. That's huge.
Right. Then there's pricing strategy, which is obviously super important, like finding that sweet spot where you're making a good profit, but also staying competitive with similar books.
Makes sense. You don't want to price yourself out of the market. So what else?
Oh, they have this whole 30-day launch strategy, which is designed to give your book a big boost in visibility right out of the gate. Like, it's all about leveraging Amazon's algorithm to get your book in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And lastly, they talk about the power of reviews, which, let's be honest, can make or break a book these days.
For sure. Reviews are like social proof, right? People are way more likely to buy something if they see others raving about it.
Absolutely. All right, so one of the coolest things about the playbook is how it contrasts the, traditional way of doing this with their new method. It's like old way versus new way.
Interesting. What are some of the key differences they highlight?
Okay, so with the old way, you'd spend months, maybe even years, slaving away, writing a book.
Mm,
And then you cross your fingers and hope people actually buy it. Not exactly a surefire recipe for success, right?
not at all. It's a lot of effort with no guarantee of return. So how's the new way different?
It flips the script completely. It's all about creating profitable books from the get-go. And you don't even have to write them yourself,
Now that's what I'm talking about.
right? Another big difference is that the old way is all about, trying to be a great writer, even if you don't enjoy writing.
Yeah, that's not for everyone, for sure.
But the new way is all about data. Remember that BSR we talked about? It's about using that data to pinpoint niches where there's already proven demand.
Ah, smart. So you're not trying to create demand, you're just meeting existing demand.
Exactly. And the old way often involves like these complicated business models, with high startup cost and all that.
Yeah, those can be a real barrier to entry for a lot of people.
Totally. But the new way claims you can get started with less than $100, like seriously.
Yeah.
And you don't need any crazy tech skills or anything.
Wow, that makes it so much more accessible.
Right. And then there's the timeline. With the old way, you might be waiting like 6 months, a year, even longer to see any meaningful income. But with the playbooks method, they talk about building multiple income streams much faster.
That's got to be a huge motivator, seeing those results sooner rather than later.
for sure. And the last big difference is the whole time commitment thing. The old way can easily suck up 40 hours a week or more, and it's not even passive.
Yeah.
But the KDP playbook lays out a system that you can potentially manage in just 10 hours a week.
And that, my friend, is the beauty of passive income. Making money while you sleep, or, while you're doing whatever else you'd rather be doing.
So now that we've got all that background, I want to share a little bit about my own experience with the playbook. Like, it's one thing to read about it, but it's another thing to actually try it out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That firsthand perspective is so valuable.
So my whole motivation for wanting to work from home was, I crave flexibility, like
Yeah.
control over my schedule, my income, my life, basically. I was so over the whole, traditional job thing.
Yeah, that resonates with so many people these days.
Totally. And when I stumbled across the PDP playbook, honestly, the no writing part was like a giant flashing neon sign for me. I mean, writing has never been my jam. And the thought of writing an entire book, it just felt so daunting.
I get it. Not everyone's a natural-born writer, right?
Exactly. But the playbook's approach, it broke it down into manageable steps. Like, first, finding those profitable niches, using the BSR research, and then creating content using these different methods. The low-content books, the AI stuff, even the public domain thing, it just seemed so much more doable.
And what route did you decide to go with?
I started with low-content journals. I found a niche that looked promising based on the BSR data, and I just dove in. And honestly, creating that first journal using Canva was surprisingly easy. Like, way easier than I thought it would be.
That's great to hear. It sounds like the playbook really makes it user-friendly.
It does. And then for the cover, I just hopped on Fiverr, found a designer, and boom, professional-looking cover, done. The whole process was really quick and affordable.
That's fantastic. So you had your book up on Amazon, ready to go. What happened next?
Well, I won't lie, it wasn't like an overnight explosion of sales or anything. But within a few months, I started seeing consistent orders coming in. And it's been steadily growing ever since. It's become a really solid income stream for me. And the best part is, the ongoing time commitment is pretty minimal. Like, I'm talking maybe a few hours a week, tops. It's allowed me to work from home on my own schedule, and it's given me so much more freedom. Honestly, it's been a total game changer. And if anyone out there is even remotely considering this, I'd say go for it. Like, seriously, check out kindleriches.com or click the link in the description, especially while that discount's still running.
I love how your experience really brings the playbook to life. It's not just theory. It's something that's actually working for you in the real world. And that's what people want to hear, those real-life success stories.
For sure. And it's not just me. The playbook has a whole bunch of testimonials from other people who've used it and gotten amazing results. Like, there's Jennifer R. She went from $0 to $8,750 per month in under a year.
Wow. That's incredible. What kind of books was she creating?
Low-content journals, just like me. And she specifically credits the BSR research, for helping her pinpoint those winning niches.
So it really does work. Finding those profitable niches is key.
Absolutely. And then there's Michael T. He actually quit his engineering job after 7 months and is now making over $11,000 a month from his books.
Seriously, that's incredible. So he was able to replace his full-time income with this.
Yep. He had tried other online business models before, but this was the one that really clicked for him. And get this, he's got 42 books up on Amazon now.
42 books, that's a pretty impressive portfolio.
Right. It shows you what's possible with this system if you put in the work.
Yeah.
And then we have Sarah Kay, busy mom. She's earning over $4,000 a month, but only working like 8 hours a week on this.
See, that's the beauty of it, the flexibility. You can scale it up or down based on your lifestyle and your goals.
Totally. And then there's David M., who's not a writer at all, but he's making a solid $2,800 a month part-time just by using public domain content and Canva.
That's so inspiring. It shows you don't need to be some kind of writing or design guru to make this work.
Exactly. So the guy behind the playbook, his name's Kyle. And he shares his own story, too. He talks about how he was stuck in that whole rat race, working crazy hours, trying all sorts of online hustles, and just feeling burnt out.
That's a relatable story for so many people.
Right. But then he discovered Amazon KDP publishing, specifically this no writing method, and it totally changed his life. He built this massive portfolio of, like, over 145 books.
Wow, 145 books. That's insane.
I know, right? And he's now making, like, over $12,000 a month in passive income from it.
And that's what it's all about, that passive income stream that just keeps flowing in.
Yep. He quit his corporate job, obviously, and now he's working maybe 10 hours a week on his own terms.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
So he created the playbook to help other people achieve the same thing.
Exactly. He wants to share what he's learned and help others break free from the 9-to-5 grind. And honestly, that's what really impressed me about this whole thing. It's not just some, faceless corporation trying to sell you something. There's a real person behind it with a real story and a genuine desire to help others.
That authenticity goes a long way, for sure.
Totally. Oh, and one more thing that made me feel super confident about trying this out. The playbook comes with a 30-day, no questions asked money-back guarantee. Like literally you can't lose.
Wow, that's a pretty strong vote of confidence in their system.
Right. They're basically saying, just give it a shot, and if it doesn't work for you, no worries, you get your money back.
Hmm.
And to make it even more tempting, right now they're running a special deal where you can get the playbook for just 27 bucks.
Hold on, 27 bucks? Isn't it usually way more expensive than that?
It is. The regular price is $97, so that's a pretty sweet discount.
Wow. Yeah, that's a steal.
But they do say it's a limited time offer, so if you're thinking about it, I'd jump on it sooner rather than later.
Makes sense. So if someone's listening to this and they're intrigued by this whole idea of making passive income from Amazon without writing, what would you tell them?
Honestly, I'd say, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. Head over to kindleriches.com or click the link in the description and grab the playbook while it's still on sale. And remember, you've got that 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's really no risk involved. It's an opportunity to potentially change your life, create more freedom, more flexibility, and build a solid income stream on your own terms.
I think that's a great takeaway. This playbook seems like a really promising path for anyone who's looking to create a work-from-home income, especially if they're not a writer or don't have a lot of tech skills.
For sure. And even if you're a little bit skeptical, like I was,
Yeah.
that money-back guarantee makes it a no-brainer to at least explore. It might just be the thing that changes everything for you.
So let's recap. We've explored the seven-figure Amazon KDP playbook and the whole idea of making money on Amazon without actually writing the books yourself. It's a three-step system: finding those profitable niches, creating content in those niches, using various no-writing methods, and then optimizing your listings to make those sales. And we've heard some pretty inspiring testimonials, including your own personal success story, that really showcase the potential of this system.
Exactly. It's not some magical get-rich-quick scheme, but it's a real, legitimate way to build a passive income stream, work from home, and create the kind of life you want. And honestly, that's something worth exploring, don't you think?
Absolutely. And the risk-free guarantee just sweetens the deal.
Totally. So for everyone listening, if you're ready to dive in and see if this is the right path for you, head over to kindleriches.com, grab the playbook at that discounted price, and start exploring. You never know, this could be the key to unlocking a whole new level of freedom and financial security.
What could be more exciting than that? Taking control of your future and creating the life you've always dreamed of.
It's all about possibilities. Okay, take that first step. Check out kindleriches.com and see where this journey takes you. You might just be surprised at what you can achieve.
It all starts with a single click.